if the best quarterback largely don't even go to the Super Bowl, and then some guys who are considered the worst quarterbacks can suddenly find success when they just find the right coach and the right system, is it fair for all of us to have a conversation about the quarterback is, in effect, overpaid? All of them. Is football actually being more driven by the system than it is being driven by the quarterback? Are we looking at quarterback completely wrong? Like, completely wrong. And I'm just asking this question. I would love a bunch of, let's all talk this out. 888-957-9570. I don't know that there's a right answer or a wrong answer here. I really don't. But I started thinking about this. And yes, it's inspired by Mac Jones, at least in part. It's inspired by a bunch of quarterbacks this year. Mac Jones is one of them. He's come in and he's won 3 football games, 2 of them on the road as a backup quarterback. You've detailed this. That is wildly rare.
Yep.
Incredibly rare. Does he deserve some credit for that? There's zero question. I don't know how you can't. I also don't think if you're talking Mac or Brock, I don't think you can get too far into the conversation without bringing up the name Kyle Shanahan. So let's look around the league because it's not just Mac Jones. You were talking about this earlier this week too. Baker Mayfield has rebirthed his career. Sam Darnold has rebirthed his career. It appears that Daniel Jones is in the process of rebirthing his career. Am I missing anyone? Are there any other, cast-offs?
Geno Smith has already rebirthed it.
Geno Smith, it's not a great moment to do that, but you're right.
No, but, he had a rebirth in Seattle, and now it's, he got paid in Vegas, and so it's a bit of a rebirth.
I think we have to bring up Jared Goff.
No doubt.
Jared Goff was a throwaway and somebody that somebody didn't want. And now he is the author of what's probably the best offense in football. So we'll throw Jared Goff into this. And then I was also thinking about who wins the Super Bowl. And I was thinking about how everybody always does this. Well, there's Josh Allen, and then there's Lamar Jackson. And I'm like, no, never even been to a bowl. Lamar Jackson, nope, never even been to a bowl. Joe Burrow's been to a bowl, but he's been hurt more often than he's been to the bowl. And then there's Patrick Mahomes, who we both agree is kind of the guy who does both, which is great quarterback and great system, which is why maybe they've won so many Super Bowls. But if the best quarterbacks largely don't even go to the Super Bowl, and then some guys who are considered the worst quarterbacks, the cast-offs, can suddenly find success when they just find the right coach and the right system, is it fair for all of us to have a conversation about whether the quarterback is, in effect, overpaid? All of them. All of them. Is football actually being more driven by the system than it is being driven by the quarterback?
Yeah. I looked at every team and how many different human beings they've had start at quarterback since the year 2010.
Okay.
And this was all born out of the fact that Joe Flacco, I guess, is now going to start for the Bengals. And, Dylan Gabriel is starting for the Browns. And so I just wanted to think, how many quarterbacks have the Browns had starting a game since 2010?
Since 2010, okay.
I don't know how high LeBron can go.
So we're at 15 years.
This would be year 16, but
okay.
yes.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think you let the cat out of the bag. Didn't you tell us?
Did I tell you?
I thought you said it was 28.
28.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen.
I was
28.
listening.
And I'm not going to ask you to name them, but
I'd like to try to see how many I could get.
Well, what
It'd
I
be
thought,
fun.
it would be fun if you could try to name the 14 that have started for the Niners.
Ooh.
And so as I went through, I did Cleveland first, and then I did the Niners, and I was like, ooh, the Niners have 14. I wonder where that ranks in the league. And so I went through all 32 teams.
Okay, since 2010?
The league average is 13.34.
So the Niners are right on the average.
Right on the average.
14?
Yeah, and so I thought, also, before we get into, who actually have started, I thought, Mark, are the really good teams those teams that have had very few people actually start at quarterback? And that's not necessarily the case. And what you just said leading into this is what made me actually bring out my list, because it's more about the coach, the system, and the stability, because the team that has had the fewest different people start at quarterback, they have 2 playoff wins since 2010.
Yep.
San Diego. they've only had 4 different human beings start at quarterback. 4. And you go from Norv to McCoy to Anthony Lynn to Staley.
Wait a minute. The Chargers only have 4 since 2010.
4.
Breeze, Rivers, obviously Herbert.
I don't know if it's Breeze.
Was that pre? Yeah, that was probably, maybe that was pre 2010.
No, but your point is well made because
Rivers, Herbert.
Rivers started forever.
And then wait a minute, what's his name with Tyrod Taylor?
Yep.
Because Herbert, that's who Herbert replaced when he had the shot go wrong.
Yeah,
right?
lung punctured.
Yeah, the lung got punctured. So Taylor started at least the first, that was like 3 games that year. And then Herbert as a rookie came in, and he's held the job since. But I feel like Herbert got hurt one of these years. Herbert got hurt.
Easton Stick.
Is that the 4th?
Easton Stick.
That's it? Since 2010.
Rivers went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rivers went 10 straight years, didn't miss a start. Tyrod got 1, Herbert got 15, and then Herbert, and then Herbert 13 games,
wow.
Easton Stick. So
I can't believe Phillip Rivers never missed even 1 start.
10 years. And so
crazy. That
to me became one of my takeaways as I went through this, because yes, the really, really bad dysfunctional teams, Cleveland, 28 human beings, Washington, 19 quarterbacks, Minnesota's had 20 different starters, Chicago 18, which makes sense because they've been searching for it, but it doesn't necessarily mean if you have stability that you'll be good. Although New England, only 8 quarterbacks since 2010. They've been very good. Green Bay, they're always right there. Aaron Rodgers didn't miss like a game. And even like Detroit and Atlanta and Tampa Bay, these are teams that have had great stability, and they're usually like playoff teams or close to playoff teams. And so, I don't know. It's a long way to say it's not only about quarterback stability, it's about coach and system stability.
I'm not here to dismiss a great quarterback, like a truly great quarterback. And even the great systems, I think there are levels to how they can be run, which is the basis of my point with Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. Not to go too far down that road, but yes, I obviously think Kyle Shanahan is an elite coach, an elite play caller with an elite system. And so are there multiple people who could run it at a level that wins football games? Yes. Are there levels to how you can run it? And do I want the quarterback who's going to run it the absolute best? And am I willing to pay for that? My answer at this moment is yes, which is why I think you don't mess around with the whole Brock Purdy thing, because I think as far as available quarterbacks to the Niners right now, that's the best you can do. And that's worth money. And that's why I tried to dismiss that point last week of, is he $45 million better than Mac? Well, no. All I need to know is he an inch better than Mac? Is he just a tiny bit better than Mac? And if he is, then yes, I want the best player you can have at that position. But wow, I certainly think there's an open conversation there, because if the guys who are the players we all drool over, we're all jealous of them, and we all want them in our fantasy leagues, they don't go to the Super Bowl. At least they haven't. Patrick does.
Right.
And I know Burrow had a game, and like he had to rally to beat Patrick in order to get that game. Joe Burrow, but Lamar never been there, and Josh never been there. So look at players who have been to the Super Bowl, on the other hand, who nobody looked at as they were on their way to the Super Bowl. Nobody looked at those people as, dude, you're elite. You're top 5 QB. Jalen Hurts was not that. I still don't think he is. Jalen Hurts is a very good player, but nobody's like, Jalen Hurts, that's a dog. That's top 5.
That's the system. And that's a great example, because if you look at Philly, they've had some really good coaches even throughout the course of the year. Doug Peterson, whatever you think about his time in Jacksonville, when he was there, he won the damn Super Bowl. Right. And another one of the teams I looked at is Detroit. They've only had 7 different quarterbacks since 2010. And Stat Padford was there forever. But if you look at the coaches since 2010, Jim Schwartz, defense, Caldwell, defense, the pencil, defense, and then you finally got a guy biting kneecaps, and it took him some time to actually ramp up and during that time, he had an unbelievable offensive coordinator, and he was able to get that thing into a spot, and still they haven't even been to a Super Bowl. So even though you've only had 7 quarterbacks, it's taken stability and head coaching consistency, Campbell now in his 5th year, to get that thing to where now Detroit looks to be like a real good team.
Yeah.